Two students failed the same exam. One believed the world had betrayed him. The other believed he had betrayed himself. Years later, one of them was still explaining why life was unfair. The other no longer needed explanations. In ancient Japan, a samurai would say this difference is not intelligence, not luck, not talent. It is my responsibility. And responsibility, once accepted, changes everything. Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's greatest swordsman, once wrote that the path of the warrior begins not with the sword, but with the mirror. The mirror does not lie. It is not comforting. It does not accuse others. It only reflects what is. In the way of Bushido, failure was not a humiliation, it was information. A samurai who blamed the weather, the opponent, or fate had already lost twice. The first loss was the battle. The second was himself. This is where our story begins. The student's name was Kenji. Kenji had prepared, or so he believed. He attended lectures. He read when required. He assumed effort alone would be enough. When the exam results arrived, his name sat below the line. Failure. His chest tightened. His thoughts sharpened, not inward but outward. The teacher made it unfair. The questions weren't what we studied. No one could have passed that. These thoughts felt relieving. They removed pain. They protected pride. But Zen teaches that relief gained by illusion always returns as suffering. Kenji did not know this yet. Another student failed the same exam. His name was Haru. Haru said very little when he saw his score. He bowed his head, not in shame, but in observation. That night, Haru spread his notes across the floor like a battlefield map. He did not ask why the exam was difficult. He asked where he was weak. He circled errors. He rewrote answers. He noticed patterns. Zen monks call this seeing clearly, stripping away emotion, until only truth remains. Responsibility is not self-hatred. It is clarity without drama. Kenji stopped studying seriously. Not immediately. Slowly. At first, he told himself he would try again later. Later became weeks. Weeks became habits. Every excuse felt reasonable. Every reason felt justified. But in Bushido, excuses are called a hidden enemy because they appear friendly. A samurai never fears the opponent he can see. He fears the one that whispers comfort. Kenji began to identify as someone who was wronged, not someone who needed refinement. An identity, once chosen, directs behavior silently. Haru created a simple system. Not ambitious. Not inspiring. Every morning before the world woke, he studied for 1 hour. No phone. No music. No negotiation. When he felt tired, he studied. When he felt confident, he studied. When he felt doubt, he studied. In Zen, this is called practice without attachment. The samurai does not wait for motivation. He obeys routine. Haru did not chase success. He eliminated weakness. Months passed. Kenji talked often about how unfair education was. People nodded. Some agreed. Haru said nothing. Silence is central to Japanese philosophy because silence reveals reality. Noise hides it. Haru's results began to change quietly. Small improvements. Consistent gains. No dramatic turning point. No sudden confidence. Just accumulation. As Musashi wrote, what is difficult becomes easy through practice. The next exam arrived. Kenji felt anxious. Not because he lacked intelligence, but because deep down, he knew he had not changed. Haru felt calm. Not because he was certain, but because he had prepared without illusion. They both sat in the same room again. But this time, they were not the same people. Haru passed. Not perfectly, not brilliantly, but honestly. Kenji failed again. This time, the excuses felt weaker. They no longer comforted him. Zen teaches that reality cannot be avoided forever, only delayed. The delay is the suffering. Years passed. Haru became someone others relied on. Not loud, not dominant, steady. Kenji became someone with many explanations. Always preparing, never arriving. This is the quiet divide created by responsibility. Not overnight, but forever. In Bushido, responsibility is not blame. It is ownership of one's inner world. You do not control outcomes. You do not control others. You do not control difficulty. You control preparation, attention, discipline. The samurai accepts failure the way a craftsman accepts a flawed blade, not emotionally, but precisely. Then he sharpens. Ask yourself quietly without judgment. When something fails in your life, do you reach for an explanation or for reflection? One path preserves comfort. The other builds power. The mirror is always waiting. If this story resonated with you, take a moment to reflect in the comments. What responsibility have you been avoiding? If you wish to continue exploring ancient Japanese philosophy, samurai wisdom, and the discipline of self-mastery, you are welcome to subscribe, like, and walk this path with us. Silently, steadily, without excuses.